Let's turn our Bibles to the book of Matthew chapter 22. We're going to continue in line with what Pastor Gandhi started last week, talking in the area of friendship. And I've titled this, The Value of Real Friendship. The value of real friendship. What's real friendship all about? Matthew chapter 22, from verse 34. It says, hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And verse 39 says, and the second is like it, love your neighbors as yourself. Verse 40, the conclusive part, says, all the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. I believe one of the biggest problems in the world today is loneliness. Loneliness seems to be an epidemic that is affecting our society today. We are now very connected with technological gadgets, electronics technology. We are socially connected. This is the day of Instagram. It's the day of WhatsApp. It's the day of Facebook. Social media is something that has gained ground in this new age, and we see that increased social technology has robbed us of face-to-face interaction. Increased technology has robbed us of face-to-face interaction. One can say categorically that our relationship is becoming superficial. The relationship we have with one another. You can have two siblings in the same house. One will be seated here, one will be seated there, and they'll be texting. And they'll be giggling and smiling. You'll be wondering, what's happening? You say, I'm talking to. You know what I'm talking about. That's what social media has done. He has robbed us of the quality of relationship, of being deep. God that we serve is a relational God. God, the living God that we all serve, is a relational God. In the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 31, Genesis 1:31, the Bible says, God saw that all he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning the sixth day. When God created the whole earth on the sixth day, he looked and he saw that everything he has done is very good. This same God that created everything that was good had a second look in the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. Genesis 2:18. And the Bible says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. The same God that said in Genesis 1:31 that he looked at everything that is good, now saw that this Adam, this man that I have created, is lonely. And he says it's not good for this man to be alone. And because of that, what God saw that was not good to be alone, God made a remedy in Genesis chapter 2. If you read from verse 19 to 25, God made him a helpmeet, and that's when God made him Eve. God, what he saw not being good, he remedied by relationship. God has created every one of us to be relational. And that's why God says that each and every one of us in our relationship should start with him. We should love him with all our heart, all our might, and all our soul. And the same love that we have for him, we should put it across the board to love our neighbors. 4 things I want to say from that scripture. Number 1, there is a void in the soul of each and every one of us that only God can fill. There is a void in the soul of every human being that only God can fill. Many people will spend most part of their life looking for love, looking for approval, looking for affirmation, which only God can give. Searching for one person to give us all the love and all the affirmation in this world will leave us void. It's only God that can fill the void in our lives. The hole in our soul cannot be filled by people. The hole in our soul, in the core of our being, cannot be solved by an individual. Jesus, when he physically came here, is God, but he was still fully man. Why do I say that? He was God in the image of man. When he was here, he was hungry. When he was hungry, he ate as a human being. When he had passion, when he got to the tomb of Lazarus, the Bible says he wept, which shows he had emotion. When he needed to sleep, when he was tired, he slept. The Bible talks about us, he was sleeping in the boat. with a pillow in the midst of the storm. So he was God, but still he was fully man. But despite all that, he still found a way to nurture his relationship with God. As divinely as he was, he found a way to nurture his relationship with God. Matthew chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. Matthew 3, verses 16 and 17. It says, as soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. And at that moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And he says, and a voice from heaven said, this is my Son whom I love, and with him I am well pleased. That is God affirming Jesus Christ. That was God affirming Jesus Christ. That the love and the affirmation Jesus needed was not needed. It was not going to be from Mary and Joseph, his biological earthly parents. It wasn't going to be from his disciples. The affirmation he needed came from God. John chapter 5, verse 19. John 5:19. Jesus gave them this answer. Very truly I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. That's referring to himself. That of my own I can do anything, but can only do what he sees his Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. Like Father, like Son. Saying all I can do on the face of this earth, I have to download my information from heaven, from my Father. I've got to be deeply connected with my Father. Mark chapter 1, verse 35. Mark chapter 1, verse 35. It says, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he does what? Where he prayed. I'm showing here to let you know that if Jesus, who is God in the image of man, could have his dependency on God, could have the void in his life filled with God, could still be connected with God, brothers and sisters, each and every one of us need to be connected with God. It's only God that can fill the void in our life. Let me show you an example to buttress what I'm saying here. There is a story in the Bible in the book of John chapter 4 of a woman who has been through 5 husbands. And Jesus was going through the area where this woman was by the well trying to fetch some water. And in John chapter 4, in verse 7, the Bible talks about it that Jesus approached this woman, a Samaritan woman, came to draw the water. Jesus said to her, will you give me a drink? And in verse 10, because of time, the woman was dialoguing that, why will you, a Jewish man, ask me, a Samaritan, to give you water to drink? That was not the question. Jesus was introducing the real spring water that if any man drinks out of it will never thirst to this woman. But she did not understand it. In verse 10, the Bible says, Jesus answered her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you will have asked him, and he will have given you living water. Brothers and sisters, Jesus is the only living water that can quench the thirst of our soul. Every one of us have a thirsting in our soul. There is a longing in your soul that it's only Jesus that can fill it. Brothers and sisters, many people will try to fill the longing in their soul with alcohol. They will go into alcohol, they will drink, they will get drunk, they will wake up and still go back. Many will fill it with pornography. Many will feel it with sex. Many will feel it with whatever it is. They cannot feel the longing of your soul. It's only Jesus that can feel the longing of your soul. And Jesus told this woman, he said, go call your husband, in verse 16. And the woman said, I have no husband. Jesus told him, yes, I know you have no husband. You have been through 5 men. And the 6th one you are with now is not even your husband. What is Jesus trying to tell this woman? That you've been going from one man to another, looking for love, looking for affirmation, looking for acceptance. But you find out that true acceptance, true love, true affirmation can only come from God. It's only God that can fill the longing of your soul. I love that hymn. There is not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No one else, none else, could heal our souls and our diseases. Not one, not one. There is not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No more one. No, not one. Jesus knows all our struggle. He will die till that day is done. There is not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. So that void in your soul, it's only the love of Jesus that can fill it. there is no husband, there is no wife, there is no child, there is no career, there is no amount of money that will fill it. If money could fill it, how come the wealthy get depressed? How come they commit suicide? So it's only God that can fill it. So that's why God was saying that the first thing you need to do is to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Brothers and sisters, let Jesus Christ be your BFF. Let him be your best friend for life. Number 2, because of time, your future is determined by your friends. Your future is determined by your friends. To have the right future, you must have the right friends in your life. In order to have the right future, you've got to have the right friends in your life. You've got to choose your friends wisely. You can't just choose. Anybody cannot just be your friend. If you are a child of purpose, a child of destiny, and you know that your life is going somewhere, you want to live a life of significance, you cannot just have anybody as your friend. We need the right people in our life. And let me show you this. This happened in the life of a man to buttress my point. 1 Samuel chapter 18. 1 Samuel 18 from verses 1 through 4. Let me tell you, this story comes on the hill after David had killed Goliath. And the wonderful woman went to the streets and saying and singing, Saul had killed 1,000 and David had killed 10,000. And because of that, Saul felt intimidated. He felt threatened. So he had a concern for fear of losing his throne to David. Not only that, Jonathan, who is Saul's son, who was the heir apparent to the throne, now happened also to be a good friend unto David. And that's where we're picking up here. It says, after David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. Now, Jonathan is the son of Saul. You will have thought because Saul hated David, Jonathan should align with his father to also hate David. But the opposite is the sign, or is the situation. It says, from that day, Saul kept David with him and did not let him return home to his family. Verse 3, and Jonathan made a covenant. Please take note of that. Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. And verse 4, this is very key. Jonathan was the heir apparent. If Saul had died, Jonathan was next in line. Now look at the symbols of what Jonathan was doing to David. Because Jonathan could tell that yes, in the physical, I'm the heir apparent. But in the calendar of God, David is going to be the next king. And look at what he did. Jonathan took off the robe he was wearing and gave it to David, along with his tunic, and even his sword, his bow, and his belt. Which means even before David was crowned, he himself, because of the covenant of the friendship that he had, he says, you know what? You are next in line. You are the next king. So David, God's choice for the next king is David and not Jonathan. So Jonathan now was working for the success of his dad's enemy. He was working for the success of his dad's enemy. You will have thought because his dad had David as the enemy, he should align with his dad to be David's enemy as well. And that's why people where I came from, they said something whitish, good, delicious white food can come out of a black pot. So God can bring a good person out of a bad family. So that's why you cannot generalize and say because they are Hispanic, that is how they behave. You can't judge. You can't say because they are Nigerians, they are fraudsters. You can't say because they are from here, that's who they are. Out of a bad family, God can still raise a good person. So David could have missed a good friend out of Jonathan. So, but because they had a covenant with one another, so it's important who you keep as your friend. Your friend can help to propel you into your destiny, or they can hinder you from your destiny. You can't just keep anybody as your friend. If you are going somewhere with your life, you've got to determine who your friends are. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. Proverbs 12, 26. Proverbs 12, 26. Proverbs, the righteous choose their friends how? Carefully. But the way the wicked leads them astray. So you can't choose just anybody. Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 13:20. It says, walk with the wise and become wise. For a companion of fools suffer harm. Proverbs 17:17. It says, a friend loves all at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. 1 Corinthians 15:33. 1 Corinthians 15:33. It says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts what? Good character. So if you get the wrong company, the character of your life is going to be adversely affected. Your future is determined by your friends. We're talking about real friendship. How do you choose real friendship? Number 3, because of time. Friendship is a life commitment. You saw what we read there. Because of the covenant that was between Jonathan and David. Friendship is a life commitment. Friendship is not a like. You know how you like on Facebook? And friendship is not a sign. It's not thumbs up. Friendship is a life commitment. It's not a like and it's not a symbol. It's not a label. Jonathan is a shining example of a real friend to David. A shining example. A shining example. Somebody who was his father's enemy. Many a times, he even revealed his father's plot, scheme to kill David to David. And David was able to navigate himself. Jonathan demonstrated commitment to that friendship. You know, I said it in the morning. I said, by the grace of God, and the privilege that I've been given in this church, in the last 2 decades, I've named nothing less than 200 children in this church. Thank you. I have never, not at one point in time, heard somebody say, my son's name is Judas. You know who Judas is? He was one of the disciples of Jesus, but he betrayed Jesus. How come? Well, till today, somebody will still be proud to name their son Jonathan. Because this man used the name and he dedicated himself to that friendship. And that's why today he earned a significant place in the Bible because of his greatness of his character. Real friendship is not like. It's not like. You know, people say, oh, I have 1,000 friends. When you are short on cash next time, ask your like to send you the money. Real friendship is not thumbs up. Every day I go to work. I drive on Route 50. I drive on the Beltway. If there is traffic, they let me in. I thumb them up. I don't know them. They don't know me. You understand what I'm saying? So real friendship is all about commitment. Real friendship is not about like. It's not like. The society, the social media today has watered down the real meaning of friendship. Not all thumbs up are your real friend. Real friendship talks about commitment to demonstrate agape love to the people that God will bring your way. Demonstrating love to people that God will bring your way. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 and 8. Let's use the Passion Translation. Thank you. It says, love. Now, this is what real friendship, real love is all about. You know, I came across this translation. I love it so much. It says, love is large and incredibly patient. Love is gentle and consistently kind to all. It refuses to be jealous when blessing comes to someone else. Love does not brag about one's achievements, nor inflate its own importance. You know how some people will say, if not for me, you won't be where you are. Love does not traffic in shame and disrespect, nor selfishly seek its own honor. Love is not easily irritated or quick to take offense. Love joyfully celebrates honesty and finds no delight in what is wrong. Finds no delight in what is wrong. You know, some people, if they know, you approach them, you know what? My mortgage, I'm about to go to foreclosure on my mortgage. I'm behind on my mortgage. All they will say is, God will help you. And then as you hang up, did you know that? That's not true friendship. It says love is safe, place of shelter, for it never stops believing the best for others. Love never takes failure as defeat, for it never gives up. Perfect love. Love never stops loving. It extends beyond the gift of prophecy, which eventually fades away. That is what true friendship is all about. When you genuinely love somebody, you commit to the process of loving it. That's what true friendship is all about. Number 4, to have the right friends, you must be the right friend. In order for you to have the right friend, You yourself must be the right friend. Proverbs 18:24 says, you that wants a friend must show himself friendly. So in order for you to have the right friend, you must first of all show yourself friendly. You know, where I came from, you've heard it before. They said, birds of the same feather, they flock together. So if you look around yourself and you look at the sphere of people in your circle and you find out that they are wrong people, don't look at them. Look at yourself in the mirror. Because law of attraction, you will naturally attract people like yourself. So if you don't like who you surrounded with, then check yourself. If you don't like your friends, it's not about them, it's about you. If you are attracting the wrong people, check yourself. So let's look at some qualities that you don't want to be, you don't want to exhibit in your life. Or I would say the characteristics of bad friendship. Now, if you exhibit these are the kind of people you will attract as well. Number one, gossip. Gossip simply means an idle talk or rumor about personal aspect of other person's life. If you are a gossip, you will attract gossips as well. Gossips are derogatory comments about a third person who is not even around to defend himself or herself. A derogatory comment about a person, the third person. Can you imagine? I pick up, this is how it always starts. Ha! Pastor Collect, did you hear about... And if that's what brings us, our connection is all about gossip. And then she will clear time. If she's busy with something, people, go and do, and get a seat, and get comfortable, and then put our feet together, and then we'll start. That will be the basis of our friendship. Did you hear about? Hey, you know what? Let me tell you what happened at that meeting yesterday. What happened? Gossip. You talk about the other party who is not there to defend themselves. That's not what we read in 1 Corinthians 13 earlier. So if somebody is gossiping to somebody about you, in not too distant a future, they will gossip about you to somebody as well. So if the basis of your friendship is based on gossip, then you don't have commitment. Such friendship will not go well. So you can't build friendship on gossip. And people who gossip, they hate those who won't listen to them. So if they gossip, if they come to you to gossip, you say, you know what? I'm busy right now. By the time you do it 3-4 times, they will get the message. But if they come to you to gossip, and then you give them the audience, and then you contribute to it, and then you add to it, then it's not a good friendship. So birds of the same feather flock together. So if you are a gossip, you will attract a gossip. If the gossip is the foundation or the core of your friendship, then you don't have friendship. Number two, two-faced person. Two-faced. You've met people like that. They are one thing in front of your face, and they are another thing behind you. They are at that meeting. They said, this is exactly what we're going to do. Anybody has anything to say? Oh, no, it's okay, nobody. And then they go. Don't mind him. He doesn't listen to anybody. He just does it the way he likes. They are two-faced. So if you're a two-faced person, you will attract a two-faced person. At a not too distant future, such friendship will not last. It won't go anywhere. Number 3, lying. Lying. You can't build a solid friendship with a liar. When you lie, it erodes the bedrock of trust. Trust is the key that builds foundation. If people lie, there is no way such a foundation, a friendship can be built. Liars cannot have good friendship. Number 4, flattery. Flattery, insincere praise. Insincere praise. You know, after you, there is nobody else. Oh, I just love the way your leadership skill is wonderful. And then you go behind and say, oh, don't mind him. He just goes on his own tangent. He doesn't even seek our own counsel. We tell him whatever he likes is what he does. That's insincere praise. If you don't like me, just keep quiet. Let me know where I stand. So don't tell me one thing and then the other part. And it goes in every relationship. Flattery will erode. It will not help relationship to grow. Disloyalty simply means lack of faithfulness. A friend stands with a friend when everybody walks out of their life. That's a true measure of a real friend. When everybody says, you know what, because of this action, because of this decision, we are out of your life. The measure of a real friend is the one that still stays with you. That still says, you know what, I believe in you. Yes, you made this mistake, but this is not the end of our friendship. Loyalty. is key. And that's what the scripture was teaching us in Galatians chapter 6, that if anyone is found in immorality, the role of the church is not to condemn the person. The role of the church is to find restoration. So if your friends miss the mark, it's not for you to castigate them. It's for you to find a way of redemption. So if anybody that you have is not loyal, loyalty, disloyalty will not cause a friendship to grow. Self-serving motives. Self-serving motive, using people for your own personal gain. You know, you met people like that. The only reason why I'm friends with Pastor Tunde is because I know Pastor Tunde has something, he has a connection with Elder Ario. And I need a favor from Elder Ario. So as soon as Pastor Tunde links me with Pastor Elder Ario, that's the end of my friendship with him. People just know how to use people. People are not to be used. People are to be loved. People are to be loved. Even in the church of God, it happens as well. You just use people and you dump them. That is not the plan of God. You can't build strong friendship on that. Things are to be used. People are to be loved. So when you do things because of your own selfish motive, it's not going to work. Contentiousness. Someone that wants to argue at all times. Some people are just like that. They have PhD in arguments. You say good morning, they say, but it's not really light. It's still grayish out there. So you can't, every little thing, argument. They just, you see them like this, it's like you know trouble is coming. Like they say, some people will fight at the drop of the hat, and they will drop their hat also to fight. Some people are just contentious. Contentiousness. It's not going to work. Friendship will not grow in such a line. And that's why Jesus called us that we should be peacemaker. He says, blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall see God. Let's find out in all of our friendship that we are peacemaker. The ones that are always making peace. Number 8, unforgiveness. Because of time, my time is running. Unforgiveness. People are always holding grudges. Always holding grudges. They don't know how to forgive. Forgiveness is like an oil that lubricates the engine of friendship. It's the oil. You offend me, I ask you, we move on. That is the oil of our friendship. That's the saying where I came from. You offend me, I ask you, you ask for forgiveness, and then we move on. That's the medication, the medicine, the oil that keeps friendship going. Selfishness is another reason. Some friends just know how to take and take and take and take from you. They will take of your time, they will take of your skill, they will take of your resources, but they don't know how to give back. I will show you, with all that Jonathan did for David, as committed as he was, he gave back when the time came. I will show you. I believe time will allow us. So true friendship is not only about taking. Withdrawing. If you keep withdrawing from your account and you never make deposit, you will run bankrupt. So when you keep taking, that is not friendship, that is ministry. So don't just take. If you want the friendship to grow, you take, you give. You take, you give. That's how friendship will grow. But some people are just selfish. It's about me, myself, always drawing from them. Temperamental attitude as well. By being temperamental, someone who is extra sensitive. You say good morning. You say, but the tone with which you say good morning. You greeted me, you didn't even look me in the eye. They're just temperamental. I didn't like the way, but you greeted him, you spent more time with him than you did with me. They're just temperamental. There is no way friendship can grow with such. And then we talk about emotional and relational immaturity. Emotional immaturity. None of us is perfect. But when we make mistakes, emotional maturity for us to own up to our mistake or to our fault. You know what? What I said, you didn't like it? Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Please, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. That's maturity. But when you say, yeah, I don't like the way you said it, why did you say that to me before? That's immaturity. Some people just don't know, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And then you move on. But when you are emotionally immature, you will blame it. And don't fault me. It's because my dad didn't raise me like that. I didn't have my dad when I was growing up. That's why I don't know. So own up to it. There is no way friendship can grow like that. As I take the last bend, 2 Samuel chapter 9, verse 1, to let us see that David was also a good friend to Jonathan. There was a mutual relationship with them. This story comes after the heel of the fact that Saul had died. Jonathan, who was David's friend, had died as well. And when the news came that Jonathan died, Jonathan had a son called Mephibosheth. When the news came that Saul died, Jonathan died, the nurse that was taking care of this young boy, Mephibosheth, in an attempt to go and hide him, dropped this boy, and he had spinal cord injury. He became paralyzed. And they went and lived in the outskirts of the city called Lodibar, a place of no fruitfulness. You will have thought this kind of man, just hiding him. But now when David came and he became the king, look at what David said. David asked, is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness? For what reason? Jonathan's sake. What Jonathan did for him to become the king, he never forgot. He said, this guy is not around. Had he been around, I would have lavished him with love to repay him for his loyalty. But because he's not around, is anybody still in his family that I can show kindness to? Brothers and sisters, love is mutual. You see how David, years after, because of the friendship, the covenant that he had with Jonathan, is showing Mephibosheth the son. And David said, you know what? You don't have to work or toil again. All the land of your father, grandfather, I'm going to restore to you. People are going to be working for you, and henceforth you will live in the palace with me. And all the days of Mephibosheth, he was reaping what his grandfather did. Brothers and sisters, real friendship is not a matter of like. It's not a matter of thumbs up. Real friendship deals with commitment. Are you willing to commit to it? And you know when your friendship, you don't know where your friendship will take you. The right place to find the right friendship is in the church. I'll say that again. The right place to find the right friendship is in the church. Am I standing here to say 100% of the people in church are real? No. I'm not standing here to say that the church is a museum of the saints. I'm saying here that the church is a hospital for sinners. But as a living testament, as a living evidence, the best of people in my life today that shaped the course of my life, I've met them here at church. It's only 2 friends that I have in my life that I met outside of church. One in high school and one in college. The rest of my good friends, the likes of Pastor Gandhi, his wife, Pastor Bolaji Okulate, Pastor Yegunto Mlade, Pastor Dolapo Olunuga, Reverend Shola Kolade, Pastor Fako, Pastor Eru, Elder John, the elders here. I have Brother Wale Alawode there. I have Kola Omole in this church. I have Craig attending there. When I have issues, these are the people that I defer to. If I have a challenge today, they are the ones I will run to. If I have any function today, they are the ones you will see at my function. I don't have many friends outside. I stand here to let you know, the people assigned to you in your soul care, in your lighthouse, God designed them to be around you for a purpose. Take advantage of it. You never know where it will take you. Learn to choose your friends with wisdom. Learn to choose them. God is the one, is a God of providence, which means he sees ahead of us. And the providential hand of God is what has positioned those people in your life today. Mind how you take care of them. Invest in them. Commit into that friendship. And in the future, what you never even bargained for, you will reap. Let's bow down our heads. My time is up. I don't know where you are in the journey of life today. Don't forget where I started from. There's a void in each of our soul that only God can fulfill. You are here this morning, you don't have any relationship with God. Alcohol will not fill that void. Pornography will not fill that void. Partying will not fill that void. Drug will not fill that void. It's only God. Because after you've done all you can, you will still go back. But when you have God, the longing shall be fulfilled. You hear this morning, you've never given your heart and life to Jesus. Can you wave to me? Can you wave to me? I'm not preaching church to you, but I'm preaching a relationship with God. That once you have that relationship sorted out, your future is secured. Father, Lord, we thank you for your word. Lord, let there be performance of your word in each of our lives. The grace to apply it to our lives, make it available unto us. In Jesus' name we pray.